The camera's too far away and I can't really even see myself. So I guess it's appropriate that this list is showing how close to 40 I am. I have 2 big stacks of books and my computer because I have the memory of a potato and I'm not going to remember all the books that I put on here. Welcome to my book list of 40 books I want to read before I turn 40. I actually made 2 lists. Originally, my list, it started out with me just writing down all the books that I wanted to read and kind of creating a TBR of like books I really, really would like to get to before I turn 40. I'm going to be turning 39 this month. I'm filming this on August 10th. Hopefully this will come out on my birthday, August 21st, future Crichton. And by the time of my birthday in 2026, I'll be 39. For some reason, when I came up with this idea this year in 2026, like when I was still 38, I was like, I'll have plenty of time. Like I'll turn 39 and then I'll still have like 2 years to like get through the books before I'm 40. I'm bad at math, but I don't know where I got like the extra year on top of like the 1 year. I don't know what happened. Okay. Apparently I was going to like have the year of me being 39. I was going to get to 40 and then somehow gain an additional year. I guess time was just going to stop. I don't know. So anyway, once I came to my senses and realized that math is not magic and is an actual thing, I only had 1 year. I was like, it's fine. I'm just going to keep writing this list out, kind of like a wish list of sorts. And I was just going to type out this list of like all the books that I really would like to get to. So I made a wish list TBR, and this included series. It wasn't just standalones. And what I was doing was including things like the Jurassic Park series, but I wasn't just saying like Jurassic Park and then The Lost World. I would put the Jurassic Park series and then have a drop-down menu, and in the drop-down menu I would list the 2 books. So the list was well over 40 books. I haven't actually counted it, but like it became well over 40 books way before 40. And once I realized I had way over 40 books because for some reason I put, where is it? The Malazan series. Okay, I didn't realize there was like 10 books in that series. For some reason, I just thought it was a trilogy. And when I started typing all of them out, I was like, oh, there's way more than I thought. But for some reason, my goofy self was like, wait, this would be so fun. Yeah, I'm going to have this as my 40 and 40 list, and I'll totally get them all read. And alternate universe me always has such big plans, and she loves to make big plans. She loves to have big ideas, and alternate universe me can get things done. Reality me cannot do that. Alternate universe me likes to make plans for reality me, and reality me cannot ever meet alternate universe me's plans. And alternate universe me is always like, what's wrong, girl? Why couldn't you do this? And I'm like, you need to sit down. Quit making plans for me, okay? Quit writing checks that my ass cannot cash, okay? Luckily, reality me was able to rein in alternate universe me and say, okay, listen, as fun as that sounds, let's not use this grand master list of God knows how many books, because I haven't even counted them all up. I haven't finished the original list, like the go big or go home list with God knows how many books on it. I still need like 4 to 5 books to complete that list. I would like to go back through and count exactly how many books are on that list. And when I do, I would like to give an update. But I think for that list, maybe if I want to, it could be like complete them before I'm like 45. I think that's maybe a little more manageable. That gives me more time. But once I reined myself in and said, while that sounds like a really fun idea, let's make this something more manageable, because that's something that I've tried to do this year, because the past 2 years I went a little ham and I was just trying to like read as much as possible. I was like, oh my God, look at how many books I'm reading. Oh my God. I could just like get even more books read this month and then even more books read next month, and burned myself out a little bit. So we're taking it easy this year. Considering I will only have a year to read 40 books, which I know for a lot of people on BookTube, they read well over 40 books. I follow many people on BookTube who consistently get into the like over 150 a year. However, that's not me. Everyone reads at a different pace. And if you're a person who reads like over 150 books a year, that's really cool because I probably get a lot of recommendations from you. However, if you're someone who reads under 100 books a year, there are plenty of people who, getting back into reading, they're like, I'm going to read one book a month. So I read 12 books a year. And that's also fine. Don't go by what other people do. Just do what you want. Like, I'm taking it easy this year. I've had absolutely zero plans. This just sounded like something fun to do. So, and it's just for me. But I thought I'd bring you guys along for the ride. I went back and checked, and it looks like in 2024, I read 79 books for the whole year. And then in 2025, I read 93. Sorry, I'm trying to up it by 2. This year's like well under that. It's, August, and I think I'm only at 22 so far. And I know, as people normally do, you count your books for the calendar year. And so what I'll be doing is I'll be counting this 40 book list from August of this year to August of next year. Well, I guess technically like late August of this year to late August of next year. I'm trying to get it within my birthday range. However, I have already started one of them because I did want to make a video on it, and I've never read this before. And this is one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's so good. The movie, so good. The book, so good. I do think I should be able to get through all 40 because I think 40 is a manageable number. Some of these books are a little bit larger than others. Some of them are like graphic novels like Revival and Paper Girls, but they're still quite large because it's the compendium version. It's every single volume smushed into one. And then there's like Rob and Hobb, and those are quite large. Actually, the Rainwild Chronicles, I was looking at these the other day. My brain was like, these are actually a lot smaller than I was expecting. They're still quite large, but I guess they're maybe like average-ish for Rob and Hobb. In my brain, though, they looked a little smaller. This one probably looks the largest. I do think 40 is manageable. We have a wide variety of books. We have some graphic novels. We have some regular novels. I have a full year technically. I know we technically count things within the calendar year when you want to see how many books you read in the year. I'll technically be doing that. It'll just be from August to August instead of January to December. I'll put my full 40 book list below in the description box because I figure it might just be a little boring if I sit here and list it all off for you, but I did have some physical copies that I wanted to go through. I do have some on my Kindle. I also thought that might be boring if I'm just holding up my Kindle. You guys know what a Kindle looks like. I'm not going to hold it up for you. Or if you don't know, you can Google it. These were actually the first 2 that I put on, I think both lists, my Go Big or Go Home list and this list. Again, like I said, Jurassic Park, the first one, the original, that's the best movie. And it's one of my favorite movies of all time. My husband, these are his books. We grabbed these when we went home a couple years ago to visit family. And I've been excited to read these for a while. I am going to make a little video on them. I've already started this one and I'm really excited. I'm loving it so far. So I'm excited to get to Lost World. And I can't believe I've put them off for so long. To be honest, I think I put them off for so long because I was like, I want to make a video on them. And I'm like, this is stupid. I should just read them. So these were first on my list for a reason. I've done this in the worst possible way because how am I supposed to get to some of these? Oh, that's another thing. Okay, I realize I'm holding these up and I'm going to go like jump back and forth. We're going to do a little jumping back and forth. Something that was on my Go Big or Go Home list, what I was doing, these are part of a Resident Evil series by S.D. Perry. I really enjoyed this. This was kind of how I started my year. They're fun books. They're based off the video games. I love the Resident Evil series. and these are really fun. I was putting these two off because I haven't played Resident Evil 3 yet, and I haven't played Code Veronica. They're the last two in the series. That's why I haven't read them yet, because I kind of wanted to play the games first before I read the books. Because so far, the books have been quite faithful to the games. I think they're very faithful to the OG games. I'll say that. But I've had a lot of fun. I really love the series. The franchise is fantastic. And she's done a great job with these books. So I can't wait to get to these. And that's another one that I'm kind of like, I should just stop putting it off and I should just read them. I either need to go ahead and play the games and then read them, or I need to just read them and then play the games. I'm done just like putting it off to be like, oh, I need to wait so I can make a video, or I need to wait so I can play the game, and I'm not ready to play the game yet. I'm done waiting. That's dumb. We're done waiting. Rainwild Chronicles. I do think this will wrap up the realm of the Elderlings. There are a couple of other books that are in Robin Hobb's world. I think it's like the Piebald Prince, that like in The Princess, I think that's one. There's like a couple of other books in her world. However, I do think these four will wrap up the realm of the Elderling series. And I'm going to be really sad when it comes to an end, because this has been one of my favorite series that I've been introduced to. I love the characters so much. I love the world so much. And I've been wanting to start getting the books. I've gotten all of them up through the first two Tawny Man books on my Kindle. And for some reason, I didn't get the third Tawny Man book. And I think in my brain, I was like, I'm going to start buying the physical copies. And then I just didn't until it was time to read the third Tawny Man book. And I was like, uh-oh, I don't have either the physical copy or the ebook copy. So we had to make a decision. So I went ahead and I bought all of the Tawny Man trilogy. I bought the Rainwild Chronicles, and now we need to go back and we got to start gathering the ones from the beginning, because this is definitely a series I will be rereading. I love Robin Hobb's works. I love the world. I love Fitz. I love Night Eyes. We're not going to talk about it though, because it makes me very upset, but I love this series so much. I'll be very upset when it wraps up, but it will stick with me forever. Where'd it go? I just had it. How do you lose books? There's not even that many on the table. Frankenstein. I read Dracula at the end of last year, and I had been telling people, I was like, I'm pretty sure I read Dracula in like high school. I don't think I did. After reading it, I was like, I don't remember this. I really enjoyed Dracula though, I will say. It was really good. It was way more action-packed than I was expecting. If I did read it in high school, I don't remember. And I'm pretty sure I didn't read Frankenstein. If I did, in high school or in university, I also don't remember. And because I read Dracula, and I think there was someone that I knew who was going to be reading Frankenstein, I was like, since I've read Dracula, I think I'll read Frankenstein as well. It's a lot shorter than I was expecting. I think the print is fairly small. The print's a little bit smaller. And, you know, I've got old eyes now. I can't see very well. So while the print is very small and the book is not super long, how long is this? 234. So while the print is quite small, it's only 234 pages. I'm excited to read it because, I mean, I know the story of Frankenstein, but I've never read it. I don't even think I've seen any of the movies, honestly. I don't think I've seen any of the movies. I just know the story. I know the general story. And I enjoyed Dracula. So I'm looking forward to Frankenstein. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like some of these books, quite large. Hold on. Some of these are heavy too. Like Paper Girls. This is a compendium. I don't know how many volumes this is total, but my husband's reading this one right now. When we went to our local game store, they sell a lot of like card games, they sell a lot of board games, but they also sell graphic novels, they sell comic books, they sell manga. They're such good people, and they're so welcoming. They have multiple branches. I love going there, and I need to go back because now that I've been doing my 12 and 12 manga, I'm like, I need to go back and get at least volume 2 of this series, potentially volumes 2 and 3. This was one that Tian picked out for me probably like 2 years ago. And it sounds really interesting. I don't know how many volumes are in this, but it follows 4 newspaper delivery girls from the year 1988. I was born in 87. So it kind of works out. They uncover the most important story of all time. Suburban drama and surreal mysteries collide. This just sounds fun. It sounds really fun. I don't know why I haven't gotten to it yet. It's really heavy. I do love these compendiums though, these graphic novel compendiums. So I'm really excited to get to this one. And I think this one, I kind of want to read it in the fall, but it's giving summer vibes. Like, look at the cover. Like, this cover is giving like at least late spring, maybe early summer. So maybe I could read it then. I'm just kind of done with putting stuff off and waiting for the perfect time. I'm done with that. We're done with that, but maybe this would be a good like spring read. I'm really excited for this one though. It's been far too long. I've put it off for too long, and I'm excited for Paper Girls. This is a new one. This is a new one that I got not too long ago, maybe just a couple of months. This is relatively new. I only got this one a couple months ago. Abel has lived under a cloud of fear, worried he could unleash the monster raging just below the surface of his father, Dale. When a violent storm levels his sleepy Middle West town, Abel and his childhood companion, Fox, must hastily flee from his father and the only home he's ever known, entering into a world of mystical carnies and soothsayer hobos, bridge trolls and wilderness spirits, endless forests and forgotten children. When I read this, I kind of flipped through it, and it wasn't 100% giving Bone. I love Bone. I've read Bone twice, and I would love to read it again. I love Bone, but the story with this young child, Bone is obviously not a human, but them going into this fantastical world, it was kind of, I think I had just come off of reading Bone too, so I was still in that mindset. It kind of reminded me of that. And the story sounds really, really interesting. And it kind of sounds heartbreaking, which is exactly what Bone is. Everyone should read Bone. If you haven't, you should, right now, just go do it. So I'm excited to get to this one as well. I don't know when I'm going to read it, but I feel like I'm going to be in turmoil by the end of it. And that's okay. Sometimes that happens in books. Happens in my Robin Hobb books all the time. World War Z. I just like zombies. I really like zombies. I love zombie movies. I think they're really fun. I don't want a zombie apocalypse to happen. Don't ever think that that's what I want, okay? I'm not prepared. If one happened today, I'm screwed. All right? Especially if it's the zombies and 28 days later, because they're fast, man, and I'm not getting away. Listen, I just like zombies. Zombies are fascinating. I've always liked zombie stories. I've always liked zombie movies. I enjoyed this movie. I didn't know it was a book until after I had seen the movie. And I really like zombies. That's why I want to read it. I've had this book for 4 years at this point. So I think it's about time I read it. I got it because it sounded interesting. I know this is a trilogy, and it's got dragons on it. It sounded interesting. I was like, I'm just going to get the first one. I knew it was a trilogy at the time, but I was like, I'll just get the first one because I don't want to buy the whole trilogy. And then if I don't like it, then I've got 3 books, that I don't like. The trilogy is on my 40 and 40. So now that I've said that, I hope that I like them. I bought this 4 years ago. It's about time that I read it. Maybe this would be a good book for the fall or winter, because it's very it's Norse inspired epic. This when it's snowing, well, it doesn't snow here until January-ish, but it will get cold. This should be a good winter-ish book. It's about time I start this one. I've never read The Hunger Games. I don't think I've seen all the movies either. I've definitely seen the first one, and I think I've seen the second one as well. I don't think I've seen the third one. And I haven't seen the newest ones either. And I definitely haven't read the newest books. But I've never read the Hunger Games trilogy. And this is my brother-in-law's book. And when we went back home, same with the Jurassic Park books, we were kind of rifling around through my husband's books and my brother-in-law's books, like while we were in the house. And so I messaged him and I was like, hey, is it okay if I take this? I was like, I can send it back to you when I'm done. And he was like, nah, it's fine. Like, you can keep it. So I put the trilogy on my 40 and 40. I do think it'll be one that I enjoy. It'll be a bit of a nostalgia. So I don't think this will be one that I'm going to be worried about like not enjoying. But I will need to find the other two books because for some reason he only had Hunger Games, or we could only find the first one. So I need to find Catching Fire and Mockingjay, but I've never read these and I feel like I kind of missed out by not reading them. This is a two-handed book because it's really heavy. Revival. This is also this. We bought this the same day that we bought Middle West. My husband bought this one for himself, but I was just like, I'm also interested in reading that one. So it's basically my book too. This one is also about zombies. For some reason, I was thinking about vampires, but it's also about zombies. One day in rural, that's the hardest word to say. Rural, central Wisconsin, the dead came back to life. Now it's up to Officer Dana Cypress to deal with the media scrutiny, religious zealots, and the government quarantine that has come with them. In a town where the living have to learn to deal with those who are supposed to be dead, Officer Cypress must solve the brutal murder of her own sister. Now, everyone, alive or undead, is a suspect, while M. Cypress, murder victim, keeps getting in Dana's way. Also a compendium and a graphic novel. And I'm really excited because, again, it sounded really interesting and I just really like zombies. A lot of these books on here are just, the reason I wanted to read them was it just sounds like fun and it just interests me. And I think that should probably, to me, I'm just going to speak for myself. I ain't going to speak for everybody else. I'm only going to speak for me. I think that should be probably my first reason to pick a book is it sounds interesting and or it sounds fun. Because if I'm not going to have a good time, I'm not going to want to read it. And this sounds like a good time. I like zombies. I don't want them coming after me, but I like to read about them. I need to take all these little tabs out. You probably can't even see them. But I have tabs in there because I did start reading The Way of Kings over a year ago, I think. I have a couple of people that I know actually who are big into Brandon Sanderson. I've never read Brandon Sanderson. I started reading Way of Kings. I was getting into it. However, at the time I was also reading Robin Hobb and I was like, I can't do two epic fantasies at the same time. That was just far too much for my little brain. I was like, these are two very large worlds, especially since I was very far into Robin Hobb and I was just getting into Brandon Sanderson's world. So there's going to be a lot of setup. I was like, no, okay, I'm going to have to take like one epic fantasy at a time. So I put Brandy Sandy to the side. I was like, let me go ahead and finish out Robin Hobb. And then I was like, I'll come back to Brandon Sanderson later this year. And I didn't, but I'm going to. I actually got this in a 3-box set. And I thought it was just a trilogy until people were like, no, it's actually 5 books. And so I was really annoyed because I was like, well, then why the hell did they sell it in a 3-box set? Why wouldn't they sell it to me in a 5? To be fair, I only put Way of Kings on my 40 and 40. I'm going to read the rest of the series, but I didn't want to put all of them on there because I was getting close to the end of my list and I was like, these are also big books. With the print in them are, well, I guess it's like a decent sized print, but they're quite large. And I was like, I don't know if I want to put like 5 really large books on there on top of like Robin Hobb and Revival and Paper Girls and Middle West. So I was trying to do like a decent mix of kind of like easier reads and epic fantasy reads. I was trying to not overload myself. That's not what we want to do this year. I am excited to get to this though, because it was really interesting. I didn't get too far into it. My bookmark is still in it. I got to page 90, chapter 5, Heretic, and I was really enjoying it. So I do want to go back to it. Obviously, I'm going to start over. I really don't remember anything that happened. I remember like flashes, bits and pieces, but I couldn't tell you what happened. So obviously we're going to start over. And I'm excited to get to that one. I'm excited to finally start my Brandon Sanderson journey. I actually had more physical copies of books on my 40 and 40 list than I realized I did. So that was kind of fun. I will be putting my full 40 and 40 list in the description box below so you can see all the books that I'm going to be reading for the next year. What I'm hoping to do is make a kind of like just a small series, and as I go, I'll be making little videos of just as I get the books read. Hopefully I remember to do that. We'll see how that goes. If anything, it'll just kind of like be a little roundup, like if I end up doing maybe a weekend of, God, that's so heavy. Maybe if I do a weekend of like a couple graphic novels or something like that, and just be like, here's what I read this weekend. And after you read through the 40 and 40 list, let me know down below if there are any books on there that you haven't read or that you're excited to see me get to those books. I think what I also would like to do is make another video of my like go big or go home list, because I really do. I need like, again, 4 to 5 more books to kind of round out that bigger list. And then I also want to go through and count up exactly how many books are on that list, because I think giving myself at least until 45, I think I could do it, you know? I think that'd be possible. Although some of those, like, God, the Malazan, I didn't realize there was 10 in the Malazan series. Like, what do you mean? However, I think I took like all of the books, all if not most of the books on this 40 and 40 list from my go big or go home list. So like that's 40 books right there just knocked off. You know, like once I get through those this year, that's gone from that list. So, you know, there you go. Check those off. Then I just got to worry about all the other ones I've put on there. I think that would also be a fun little mini project. We're going to be taking our time with it. This clearly, I was going to say it clearly has a time limit, but it only has a time limit because I put the time limit on there. If I roll over, like if I, you know, get to next year and I'm like, oh God, it's my birthday and I still have like the Hunger Games trilogy I haven't read, it's fine. Who's going to come yell at me? 41-year-old me? Oh no, it's not that big a deal. So we're going to do our best. We're not going to be rushing ourselves, but we're going to do our best to get through our 40 and 40 in 1 year. And I think I'll give myself, originally I was just going to do like my birthday to my birthday, but I think we'll do like beginning of this month to end of next August. I think we'll do that. Give myself a little bit of breathing room. I will be starting with Jurassic Park and The Lost World though. I'm really enjoying Jurassic Park. I'm excited to keep reading. So these will be the first 2 that I cross off this list. And then the next one will probably end up being Fool's Fate, because I'll probably finish that one before the end of the month. And then I'll probably need a tiny bit of a break, and then I'll roll into the Rainwild Chronicles. But thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully with an update for our 40 and 40. Bye.